Hello and welcome to my channel, Sam Hikes the World. Today we are entering the final third of our 9-day hike across the West Highland Way. My wife Christy, sister Cindy, and brother-in-law Eric is always joining me. We are hiking from Bridge of Orchy across the Rannoch Moor to Kingshouse and the Kingshouse Hotel. It's about a 13-mile day, some significant several thousand feet of elevation. But let me just say this. Gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful scenery. We are out on our own. There is no development. There is nothing but mountains and still some snow in early June on some of those mountains, and moors and lakes and nature and sky and ground. And other than a few other hikers for 13 miles, that's all you've got. It was truly a gorgeous, beautiful day. We had nice weather. Dry day. It might have rained for a minute here or there, but really a dry day. Cool though. The further you get down the West Highland Way, the cooler it gets, and you get higher up in elevation, and the winds you're on. There's no shelter. The wind's blowing. So we had a lot of layers on, and we were still cool and for most of the day, and looking for a sheltered place actually to eat lunch where it wasn't so windy. But just an absolutely gorgeous section of the West Highland Way, and really just a wonderful day. We started out leaving Bridge of Orchy. Again, I think I said in my video yesterday, my favorite little town, certainly favorite hotel that we stayed in on the whole trip. Crossed the actual bridge itself, which was built back to move troops several hundred years ago, move British troops to bring them in to help fight some of the clans in the Highlands. Climbed significantly right out of the gate up to a ridge line where you could look back down over Loch Tulla. Beautiful views from up there. Really just could see in all directions. It's 360 everywhere you go here, because again, there's no trees and there's nothing to block anything. You just got nothing but views. But really kind of hiked up and around Lake Tulla, Loch Tulla. Just a beautiful part of the trail. Worked our way down. A lot of the day was spent kind of on a very old stone road. It could be a little tough on your feet as you walked along on it. It wasn't mile after mile, maybe wasn't the most comfortable walking, but you kind of felt like you were thrown back 200 years and marching along this road. The moors are beautiful. They're undeveloped because it's really difficult to build in them and develop in them. So it gives you a chance to see something while hiking. It's one of my favorite things about hiking, is I'm seeing stuff that I can't just drive up to and see. And a lot of this trail has not necessarily been that way, but today really was. So really enjoyed that. We were kind of excited to see snow on some of the mountaintops, and weren't even sure that's what it was at first. But more and more we did see some remaining snow on each of the higher peaks as we hiked along. After you come back down from Loch Tulla, you come to another small little town with a hotel. Some people do stay there. Inverorin. So we actually stopped there. They had a store, bought a couple of things, used the restroom. Kind of were able to take, after about 4 miles, take a short break. Buy ourselves. I'm big on buying a Diet Coke to carry it along with me while I'm hiking, but people bought some different things, some chocolate. I think my wife bought a West Highland Way shirt there. Nice little town. I think you could stay there as well on an Indian hike, and certainly there was a lot of camping just outside of town, right along the river. So really a nice part. There was a little development there, and then you're off into Rannoch Moor. We ultimately had lunch right within shouting distance of the Ba Bridge. We didn't go all the way down to the bridge because it was just a little windy, and we found kind of a nook that we could get out of the way with some hills and hillocks around us, and maybe eat our lunch with a little bit less wind and a little bit less chill in the air. So really enjoyed that. You ultimately, as you hike along after the Ba Bridge, which is about halfway on this day, again, just hiking through nothing but beauty the whole way along, you ultimately get to where you can see what you are certain is the Kingshouse Hotel in the distance, but you must still have 3 miles to go, and so you can't believe that that's the Kingshouse Hotel. But as the saying goes, it's all downhill from there. You are up high, you're coming down towards the hotel. You pass kind of an offshoot hike to Glencoe on your left as you come down. That hotel just seems to get further and further away the further you hike. It was kind of crazy. Like we know it's there, we see it, and then it would disappear from sight a little bit, and there it is, and it seems like it's further away than it was a mile ago. The miles do build up on you, especially when you're in your upper 50s like we are. And we've done some 16-mile days on this trip. Today again was about 13, but we're kind of tired by the end of it. But we did work our way into the Kingshouse Hotel, which is a gorgeous modern hotel, very different than the other places that we stayed, which were much more inns, bed and breakfasts. This was a very, very nice hotel, and I feel like everybody hiking the West Highland Way was stopping here, whether they were coming from Inverarnon or Bridge of Orchy, or even all the way back from Tyndrum. And so it was very crowded checking in. We actually couldn't get in our room right away and had to wait around for about an hour, which is not my favorite, but what are you going to do? Check-in time's at 4 o'clock, and we were there at like 2. But eventually we had very, very nice rooms. It's a really nice hotel, a huge restaurant. Had a really, really nice dinner in the restaurant. Heard a cuckoo bird again out our window from our hotel room, so that was really cool. We never really got tired of hearing cuckoo birds. It did start to rain later in the day, so had a few laughs looking at the backpackers trying to set up their tents outside in the rain. I would never, ever backpack the West Highland Way. It's not for me. Even when I was a young man, it has nothing to do with physical fitness. It is about the rain. I don't particularly like hiking in the rain, but I would particularly hate hiking in the rain and then setting up my camp in the rain and not being able to dry out my gear and myself. God bless you and praise those who do it. And there was a lot of them out there and having a good time and or making their way through it. It's not for me. If I'm backpacking, I want to be somewhere close to the desert where it's not going to rain on me all the time. And most of my backpacking has been there, the Grand Canyon, Death Valley. So we did do some Great Smoky Mountains, but got pretty lucky with the weather. But for us, it was a really, really good day. And as we finished dinner that night and checked the weather for the next day, we tried to bask in the glory of the day we had, because the next day we were hiking on to Kinloch Leven up the Devil's Staircase, which is all fine, but it was going to rain. And more to come on that on my day 8 report, but we were about to get our second day. It looked like on radar of significant all-day rain, and of course on the day that we're hiking the steepest section and the highest elevation of the trail, and should have the best views. But for today, terrific day. Had a great meal in the restaurant. Just really, really think this was just a beautiful section of the trail. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and my next video will be on day 8 as we head on to Kinloch Leven over the Devil's Staircase. Thank you.